Moving on. So, Rachel, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know. Time just blurs together for me as I get older and older. A few weeks ago, I got to go and check out a little game called Loadout, which, have you ever heard of it?
I'm sure it has lots of guns in it.
It does. I mean, imagine a game called Loadout having a lot of guns. In fact, guns are the key element to this. This is a third-person, team-based squad shooter. Kind of along the lines of Team Fortress 2, that same sort of animation style and squad-based gameplay. And yeah, very cartoony. So you go around as these like Rambo dudes, and you have, one gun that you can, switch out, whatever. And then you have a custom gun that you made. I love how we're jumping around. I feel like we're like teleporting. Or we're on Dragon Ball Z.
He's exploding with needles.
Yeah.
With syringes.
Yeah, well, see, you customize your guns to do whatever you want them to do. And as you play more, you get more, parts for your guns. So you can have rockets that shoot out landmines. And then you can have rockets that heal people. You can have cluster bombs. You can have guns that like lay down giant spikes when somebody like walks into them. All sorts of crazy stuff. And like as you can see, very like over the top, gory, cartoony violence.
The arm.
Yeah, no, like I shot a dude's head off and he was still running around with just like an eyeball and brains and a tongue hanging out of his neck. It's really over the top and really ridiculous. And it looks like it's gonna actually be a lot of fun. It's kind of like it's combining like that idea of infinite weapons from like Borderlands with like the squad-based gameplay of Team Fortress 2. Only instead of you finding randomly a gazillion guns, you just get parts and make your own gun out of a gazillion parts.
So it's also got a little bit of like, well, not with the building aspect, but just with the guns and the ridiculousness of it. It's kind of a little bit Time Splitters, tongue-in-cheekish too.
Time Splitters, quite possibly, yeah. I didn't make that comparison, but I can definitely see that. And we actually have an interview with one of the developers of Loadout, so I think we're gonna cut to that so we can go and smoke cigarettes and take shots of whiskey, which is what we do in between takes. So why don't we just roll that interview so we can get toasted?
Okay.
All right. For those of you who haven't seen the game, why don't you tell us a little bit about Loadout?
Okay, sure. So Loadout is, it's about two things. One, it's about running around like crazy and blowing stuff up, crazy weapons, like really high-paced, super adrenaline. It's not about sneaking at all, like you played it. It's not about sneaking at all, right? There's no place to hide. And then the second thing it's about inventing crazy weapons, like those weapons that are blowing people to bits and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You're making them, so you get to take pieces and put together any weapon you want. And if you just want to experiment with something like, there were some failed experiments in that last game we played where it was like, what if I make it bouncy and then proximity mine with the healing? Like that's not that great. Might have been a match where it was, but there it didn't kind of work. And then you just go back and you say, well, what if it's Tesla damage instead? Or what if it's guided? And then, the different pieces you have, you can experiment.
Now, the other thing that I really like about this game is it's kind of almost got like a Team Fortress vibe, and that it's a very like cartoony, over-the-top presentation. And I love the gore that you guys have going on.
So like people have said like Team Fortress on crack, like a 211 or whatever. So yeah, like we're blowing pieces off, and one guy, his whole head was missing. There was just like the brain sticking out, was running around. Yeah, like we really love the weapon damage and the fact that you can do different things with your weapons. Like we really glorify the cool weapons you made and all the carnage that you're spilling around everywhere. It's fast-paced, it's fun. It really is for more casual players as well as hardcore. Anybody who just wants to jump in and play like 10 minutes, a totally frenetic shooter, like that's our game. Come check it out.
You're gonna be able to like customize your own characters,
sure,
right?
Yeah. Whatever you want to do with this guy, and we'll have a few different characters as well. The one we're making right now is kind of loosely based on Kimbo Slice. And so we got that character going in, and we're going to have a Helga character as well. But yeah, a big part of the game is also going to be being able to customize this. So not only your outfit and your weapon so that it does whatever you want, but also you get to dress your dude up, project whatever style you want onto the game.
Well, awesome. Well, the game is looking really cool. If people want to learn more about it, where can they go?
Loadout.com. They can sign up for beta so they can get on there and help us out as soon as they possibly can. And then, come summer, if you want to wait for us to bake it a little while when we're fully on open, summer will be the right time to check us out as well.
Killer. Well, Mark, thanks for talking with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, and if you feel like watching that interview again, it is up on our YouTube channel.
Again.
Yes, and I mean, why wouldn't you want to watch that again? Did you see that game? Did you see all the blood? You see that dude's head, like flying off in the distance?
I did like the gore.
Yep, it's hard not to like a game with a bunch of senseless cartoon violence. I just love cartoon violence for some reason.